menu. We always come into the dining room, we sit down, we have the menu pretty much memorized. I can tell you what I'm going to order before I even open this book.
Right.
So what Eli did is, he had some...
getting ready for the call.
Getting ready for the calls, good. He had menu feedback sessions and what he called enhancement sessions. And what that was is he sat down with groups of residents and just simply asked, what would you like to see on the menu? What do you like on the menu already, and what do you think could be improved? And we got a lot of feedback. And then what he did is he brought the menus to the dining council. The council looked over the menus, looked over the drafts, and they actually voted on the proposed menu. It was passed, and then what he did is he set out a timeline of when these menus would be launched and implemented in each dining room. So we're talking Woodland Skies, Jefferson, the Fireside, both Fireside and the cafe. Incidentally, cafe is going to have a new menu as well. And Woodland Skies was chosen to go first, and we launched our lunch menu first. So we actually launched that last week, and this past Sunday we launched our dinner menu. Overwhelmingly, the response has been positive, but of course, like when you introduce anything new, the comments come in. So what I've been telling residents this whole week over in Woodland Skies is that this is a trial period for us with this new menu. This is a time where you want to tell us again what you like and what you don't like, whether it's manager feedback on the floor, whether it's comment cards, word of mouth. We know we're listening and hearing what residents have to say. And that's how we're going to work on and edit the menus moving forward. My biggest point to the menus that we launched this past Sunday, and that you will see in Fireside and Jefferson, is that these were not manager created menus. We didn't sit down and make the menu all on our own. A lot of it, a majority of it, quite honestly, was driven by what residents were saying. So I'll give you a few examples. You have a small portion menu on our dinner menu now. You have items that are available in small portions. You have what we call resident choice entrees. When you see that on the menu, what does that mean? That is specifically entrees that were talked about over and over in the comment cards or the feedback sessions. I miss this entree. Chef Mark. They love Chef Mark's chicken curry. I really like to see Chef Mark's chicken curry on the menu. There it is. We have our signature entrees that will never go away. So what is a signature entree? What does that mean? That's our crab cake, our petite filet. You have a bone-in, simply roasted chicken on there that will never go away. And of course, we can't get rid of the salmon ever.
Oh,
so
yes, definitely.
Can't get rid of that, so that will always be on the menu. There's a whole bunch of different variety on there, and I think the most important change on there, the biggest change that will really make an impact on residents, is the very last page. If you look at that last page on our menu, it's called Weekly Specials. And I'm talking dinner specifically right now. We have it at lunch as well, but right now I'm talking with dinner. You have 5 entrees on there. And what they're going to do is they're going to start on a Sunday, and they'll stay all the way through the week. And when you go to the following Sunday, you're going to get 5 new weekly specials on that menu. So before, we were changing the menu once a month. And what we did is we changed a salad, we changed a beef entree, we changed a poultry, fish, so on and so forth. That had helped with the variety in the comments that residents were telling us, but it quite honestly seemed to be not enough. There were still complaints and concerns about menu variety. So I really think that this 5 rotating specials every week is going to make a real impact on that variety. So when you come in, every Sunday starts the week, look at that last page, because you're going to have 5 new entrees. And I don't just mean your basic chicken entrees. These are really nice entrees. If you look at what we have running right now, we have prime rib running for a whole week. We have a shrimp imperial running for a whole week. We have chicken croquettes running a whole week. So there's some good things on there. And again, I think that will really help with that variety part.
I'm always amazed that people say that there's not enough variety, because to me, how could you ask for more?
Yeah, I'll just give you numbers. The old menu had about 21 items on it. We're up to 27 now, 27 items that you can choose from. And I can tell you it's variety from our point of view. I can just see it in the kitchen. I mean, it is a big undertaking for the kitchen to do, and they're working nonstop in there to make sure that these entrees are consistently coming out. The quality is the same for each product that comes out. So you do have a really good variety, I think. I think that the specials will definitely help with that sameness factor. I think sometimes residents said, yeah, you have a lot of entrees, but it's the same every single day for that month. So now, with that rotating 5-week special section, I think that will really help too with that. So
they can have a different one every day if they want.
You can have the same every. I've had a couple residents order the shrimp imperial, I think 3 or 4 days in a row already. And I've been recommending to residents, if you like something on that special section, go for that first, because that's the section that's going to change on a weekly basis, while the rest of the menu will change more like on a monthly or so and so. So, but they seem to enjoy it. They seem to like it, which is great. I mean, I talked to a table the other day, and I said, your feedback is important. It doesn't do us any good to have a menu that residents don't like. Right. They're going to come in every day unhappy and not enjoying what they're eating and having a bad dining experience. So the feedback is important. We will listen, and we will make adjustments. We can't accommodate every preference, as residents may know, but we'll do our best to accommodate the majority of what residents are saying.
I know I've heard people say, well, I'm not going to fill out that card. They never pay attention to that either, and I know you do. we do. I mean, I'll repeat it again. I've talked to this with our resident dining council as well. We read every single card, and not only do we read them, we personally, the managers of each respective dining room, type the cards. So not only are we reading them, we're typing them up on a spreadsheet that the dining council ultimately gets. But what we do, and I'm speaking now for Woodland Skies, but I'm almost positive the other dining rooms do this, we type up 2 separate sheets. We type up what we call back of the house, which is a culinary sheet of the comment cards about the food. And then we type up a front of the house sheet that's about the service. We give the back of the house sheet that has all the comments about the food. For us, it would be to Chef Mark, and he reviews all those comments with his team. We review all of the positive comments about service with our serving staff and our pre-shifts. Now, those service comments that come in that are negative, we talk to those servers on an individual basis. Obviously, we wouldn't want to embarrass anyone and bring that up in public, but we do address those too. We want to correct any service mistakes that happen. So we do read comments. We read them on a daily basis. Every day we get a lot of comments, and we cycle through. I must type up 50 comment cards a week, maybe 50 to 70 comment cards every week in that box. So they're a great asset to have. That's how we base a lot of our change, is on those cards. It's the best way to let people know how they feel about something.
Right. I mean, there's been many times I've opened that box and taken a card out, and something was brought to my attention that I didn't know. I said, wow, I didn't realize that there was a problem with that fish entree, or I didn't realize that server, Joe, needed more training, that he was really struggling. So we're always on the floor. Managers are on the floor, but there's so many things going on at one time that the comment cards are a benefit to us. It helps us see what we don't always see at times.
Hey, this is a call-in show. We're not getting many calls, so pick up that phone, and Corey's here to answer your questions about dining services. 703-923-4639.
Be glad to.
I can't imagine nobody having a question.
Well, I can jump into a question that I often hear, and that we were just talking about briefly before we went on the air, was about management structure and roles of what is each manager position in the dining room. So the dining rooms have 3 what we call leadership positions. You have a general manager.
Okay, just a minute.
Have a call? Oh, sorry, I thought we had a call. We have a general.
Yes, we do have a call.
We do have a call. Okay.
Go ahead now. You're on air.
Yes, Corey. I'm wondering if you have I should turn the TV off, right?
That helps.
I'm wondering if there are special plans for the Mother's Day in terms of menu or service or time or anything like that. Do you have that information?
Sure. There are special plans for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Each dining room will be running a special menu, so we'll be running a menu that's not on the signature menu. Please note that the hours are going to be different on Mother's Day, that the dining rooms are going to be open from 11 to 2 that day, Now, we have our menus, and again, I'm speaking to Woodland Skies, but I'm pretty sure Fireside should have it out in Jefferson by now as well. We have our menu posted out front at the host stand, and we also have the hours of operation posted out front. If you dine in Fireside or the Jefferson and don't see a menu posted yet, feel free to ask your management team in that respective venue, and they should have it ready. I know ours has been ready for about a week now, and it's been posted out front. So you will see a special menu. Please note the hours of operation change, and it will be a very nice event. I can tell you that we have a great menu plan for Mother's Day as well.
Great.
So it should be good. But to jump real quick back to the management structure,
Yes.
I hear that question often is, so you have the top in each respective dining room would be the general manager, and the general manager is responsible for the entire operation. So that means the front, the back, your budgeting, your staffing, everything falls under that general manager position. Right below the general manager, you have what you call a service manager or assistant general manager position. That position and that role acts in correlation with the general manager, but their primary responsibility is on the floor, the service, the flow of the service, the training of the serving staff. Now, keep in mind, if a general manager is on vacation or they're on their off day, all their responsibilities would then fall under that service manager. So the service manager or the assistant general manager is trained by the general manager to pretty much know in and out the operation in case of their absence. Right below your service manager, you have what you call a supervisor. The supervisor is directly tied to floor as well. They're pretty much your direct link to helping train the serving staff, oversee the flow of the service on the floor, and just hearing and handling resident concerns and issues that come up. So they're doing a lot of table touches. Now, we all do table touches, but a lot of times if we're seeing, resolving an issue in the kitchen or something happens where we need to fix something at the host stand, so many things can come up. The supervisor really is that key point on the floor where they're just doing table touches and making sure that everything's flowing. And they're also relaying concerns to the general manager and the assistant general manager. So let's put some names to those titles. So let's just go to Woodland Skies, for example, My title is the general manager, so I oversee the entire operation of Woodland Skies. Right below me is Mr. G. Mr. G is the assistant general manager, and right below G is Roxanne. She's our supervisor. You shift over to the Fireside. The general manager of the Fireside is Marisi Dunbar. She oversees the entire operation of the Fireside. Right below Marisi, you have Nadine. Nadine is the service manager, and then right below Nadine, you have LaShawn, who is the supervisor. You shift over to the Jefferson. You have Pearl. Pearl is the general manager of the entire dining room. Right below Pearl, you have Riani. Riani and you have Riani and Nadia. You have two service managers over there. It's a little bit different structure over in the Jefferson. They're both, Riani is a service manager. Nadia is supervisor. Excuse me. I'm getting my names fixed up. I haven't been in Jefferson in quite a while. Riani service manager, Nadia supervisor over there. So that's the management team. And we were talking, they often seem like they're doing the same thing on the floor. Well, that's directly responsible for the service. When we open, it's all hands on deck. Everyone's got to be on the floor and managing the residents. I can give you an example. Our lunch over in Woodland Skies, the covers have gone up. And by covers, I mean the volume of residents coming in.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Yes, so we have to basically assist and back up the serving staff who are on the floor. Now, you'll see us often, bringing residents in, grabbing, some dirty dishes here and there, and pretty much maybe sometimes taking orders. This is not, say, directly our job title, but it's what we need to do to make sure that the service stays consistent and that the dining room flows smoothly. So pretty much when you get that rush period come in, I use the term again, all hands on deck, we all just jump in and make sure that the operation is flowing. Now, in your down periods and in your slower times, that's when I really have, you would say, my office time to work in the back, or you have G has his office time. But when it's service, that comes directly from our director, which I happen to agree with 100%. he wants the management on the floor, which I think works best. If the serving staff, which I believe are trained very well, don't feel that manager's presence on the floor, they're very good, but they can often slack. They can congregate, start to talk at the computer stations. They can miss certain things. They can be so caught up in the operation that they'll forget that they have 10 parties waiting outside on the wait list. This is where the manager kind of fills in the holes and kind of just plugs in and jumps in. Sometimes G and I jump on the expo line in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So if, say they get 10 tickets back there on the screen, we'll say, okay, expediter, go back on the line and help them cook this food, and we'll garnish the plates and plate it on the tray and send it out. So there are distinctive job responsibilities for each position, but during service, we all kind of jump in to get the job done.
To see where it needs to be filled in and
Exactly.
helped, yeah.
To see where we need to
Yeah.
resolve any issues or concerns. So
Yeah.
that works best, and especially we're talking about lunch. We used to run lunch with 3 servers. We used to be able to run lunch with 3 servers, and we used to have like 1 manager on the floor. A lot of times we use our, Woodland Skies is open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, so we would be able to have 1 manager on the floor, and the other manager would be able to get their office work done. And there's reviews, ordering, putting, checking times. Now we're running with about 8 servers, so 3 to 8, and it's requiring pretty much all 3 of us on the floor to make it happen at times. Now there's some times where we can get by with 2, but even myself I like to be on the floor for at least the majority of lunch, unless I'm in a meeting, of course. But when I come back, because it's just taking that much management presence, because of the covers have gone up dramatically. We've in the past served 35, sometimes 40 residents for lunch. We're doing now upwards of 100, 115, 120,
Right.
Which is great. I mean, that's residents. To me, that shows me residents like the dining room, and they like the menu.
Right.
Again, we don't want to have a menu that residents don't like, so we'll keep it up and keep the serving staff training. But yeah, that's kind of where we are now.
This is a call-in show, 703-923-4639.
I can keep talking if you like. If you don't have any questions, I can just keep going about questions I hear.
Corey can go ahead and talk.
I'll bring up another topic if you like.
Okay, we have one coming in.
Okay.
Hello, come in.
Yes. I wanted to make a comment about the tomato bisque. I don't know how long you've had that as a soup, but it seems like it's 3 to 4 months to me. And then when they have the second soup, they might have a Manhattan clam chowder, which is, of course, again, a tomato base. Now, this week you do have, it says soup du jour, and then chicken consomme. And I would like to see like a pork chop, just you could order a pork chop in the meat level on that. And that's all the comment I had. That the soup, it's too repetitive. Okay? Thank you.
So the caller was talking about, and that's Woodland Skies has the tomato bisque. That's what you call our signature soup. So each dining room has Woodlands and Fireside has what we call our signature soup that's available every single day. The tomato bisque, incidentally, this topic just came up in my dining council meeting yesterday. And they actually told me, you don't ever plan on taking the tomato bisque away, do you? And I said, as of right now, no, we don't have any plans to take that, and I'll tell you the reason why. The tomato bisque, not only is it very popular, but it also satisfies a lot of our gluten allergy residents and also our vegetarians, because it's made with a vegetable base. It doesn't have any meat base in it. It doesn't have any gluten in it. So it satisfies a lot of residents in terms of a soup that they can have.
Yeah.
Now,
I think what our caller was talking about was not to have another tomato-based soup along with it.
Right. So, and I think if you come down and you look at the new menu, you also have with this new rollout the chicken consomme, which is a light chicken broth. It doesn't have any cream or anything, and it just simply has a little bit of shredded carrots and some oregano in it. That's going to be offered every single day, along with the tomato bisque. Now, I think the caller was also saying, why do you have another cream base like a New England clam chowder when you have the tomato already as the soup of the day? That's just simply trying to satisfy and hit all angles in terms of variety. Because we do have residents who want and like cream-based soups every single day. There's an audience that likes those. So what Mark is doing, and if you come and you look at the host stand, look at our variety for the week. We post our soups up for a week to let you know every day what we're going to have as the soup of the day. And you should get a good mix now of vegetable-based or lighter soups as opposed to bisques or cream-based soups. Just yesterday we had chicken noodle. The day before he had garden vegetable. Last week I know he had beef vegetable. There's no heavy cream in there. So when you come down to the dining room now, you will see the tomato bisque. The tomato bisque, as of right now, is not going to be going away. But look for your chicken consomme now, which will be available every day, which is a light chicken broth, and look for your soup of the day. Sometimes, yes, it will be cream-based, but you'll see a lot more of the vegetable-based or chicken-based soups in there as well. Trying, again, just to satisfy all the audiences. I mean, at different perspectives. There's just so many preferences that, we talked about in the opening of the show. We can't satisfy every single preference, but we can try to at least do a rotation or a variety rotation where you come in one week, you'll have it at some point. It won't be there every day, but we can kind of rotate it in at some point there. The other topic, like I said, I could just keep going, is I don't know if many residents know who Chef Robert Gaines was, our sous chef in Woodland Skies. He didn't get a chance to come out into the dining room too often. He's worked directly under Mark. He actually got promoted, and we actually lost him to the Potomac Cafe. So we were, sad to lose him, but we're very happy to see him get promoted and to take over the operation over in the cafe. So if you dine frequently in the cafe, please say hello to him. He is new over there, and he's excited about his position. And he'll have direct responsibilities of the menu and the flow of the cafe. So he may have plans of maybe restructuring some of the lines where items are. I think he's mentioned in the past that some of the residents have told him when he went over there for a viewing of the cafe that it was a little bit confusing on where each line started and where you need to go for certain things.
I've heard about that.
Okay. So he is going to be looking at that as well. We actually have a new sous chef who actually came over from the Fireside Dining Room. Her name is Shannon. She's been there for about a week now, and she's quickly learning under Mark. Mark's been working with her closely.
Explain what a sous chef is.
Okay, so a sous chef. A sous chef is a culinarian who works directly, so let's compare it to the assistant general manager that I talked about earlier. They work directly under Mark. We have two of them over in the Woodland Skies, and in Mark's absence, they run the kitchen. They do a lot more of the cooking than Mark would do. Mark does cook, but Mark's primary responsibility is to oversee the whole kitchen, the training, and the preparation of the food. So they learn directly from him. So he teaches them culinary techniques, he teaches them recipes, he teaches them how to order, he teaches them how to check the lines. And they are the candidates that we look to first when a executive chef leaves. So if Mark was to ever leave or get promoted, we look to our sous chefs first because they have the most experience, and we like to see employees grow within the company. So we like to see employees get promoted. So sous chef, again, works directly under the executive chef, who for Woodland Skies would be Mark, for Fireside would be Chef Rubina. And for Jefferson, you have a newly appointed executive chef. Her nickname, I know, is Mama. They call her Mama over there. And I know she's very talented and she's very well liked over in the Jefferson. So she actually just took over because Robina got transferred over to the Fireside. So there's been some movement in the back of the house. And I know residents don't often see the back side of things. They often see the front side when managers get moved around or promoted. But there has been movement back there as well. So those are some of the changes that just happened within the last 3 weeks, I would say. So say hello to Robert. We missed him. We just got to see him yesterday, if you see him over in the cafe.
Now we're down to a minute now, and so you're almost out of time to make that phone call. 703-923-4639.
Yeah, if we don't get any calls, I often say this when I'm walking the floor in the dining room is problems are best solved, or issues or concerns are best solved when we know about it right away.
Immediately.
Immediately. I call it on-the-spot fixes, especially if it's a result of server training or an issue happens in the kitchen. Managers can solve it immediately if we find out about it right away.
I think probably the biggest one I hear about that is food occasionally coming out cold. But by the time you send it back to warm it up, then everybody else at the table has already eaten, and you know, they say, oh, why bother?
Okay, well, I have a resident couple in Woodland Skies who comes for dinner, and they'll remain anonymous, but they let me know every day if the food is not up to temperature. And I've been working directly with the kitchen on it with this particular resident couple, and they've told me, for the most part, not every day, that the food has been hotter. So again, I can figure out, are they not stirring food? Are they not temping the food before they send it out? Is it sitting too long on the hot line before it comes out? That's questions and concerns I can bring to Mark right away. If you go outside after you're done with dinner and simply complain about it to your friend,
right,
which is fine, that's your own prerogative, but we can't fix that. We won't ever know about it.
Exactly.
So if we know about it in the spot or on the spot, you're much more likely to get a response or a fix than if you kind of just let it be.
So let it be known if your food is not right.
Yeah, anything, service, food, menu ideas, anything, we're open to hear and to listen.
Right. So, okay, thank you so much, Corey.
You're welcome.
Let's see what kind of announcements